So, you know, it's not necessarily your intention, it's just what happens. And it's hard to avoid that.
So let's give specific categories of people specific tasks, okay?
Okay.
If you are an investor or a businessman, invest in ethical good AI.
Okay.
Right? If you are a developer, write ethical code or leave.
Okay, so let's go. I want to bypass some potential wishful thinking here. For an investor whose a job, by very way of being an investor, is to make returns, to invest in ethical AI, they have to believe that is more profitable.
It is.
Than unethical AI, whatever that might mean.
It is. It is. I mean, there are three ways of making money. You can invest in something small.
Mm-hmm.
You can invest in something big and is disruptive. And you can invest in something big and disruptive that's good for people. At Google, we used to call it the toothbrush test. Okay? The reason why Google became the biggest company in the world is because search was solving a very real problem. Okay? And, you know, Larry Page, again, our CEO, would constantly remind me personally and everyone, you know, that if you can find a way to solve a real problem effectively enough so that 1 billion people or more would want to use it twice a day, you're bound to make a lot of money, much more money than if you were to build the next photo sharing app.
Okay, so that's investors and business people. What about other people?
As I said, if you're a developer, honestly, do what we're all doing. So whether it's Jeffrey or myself or everyone, if you're part of that theme, choose to be ethical. Think of your loved ones, work on an ethical AI. If you're working on an AI that you believe is not ethical, please leave.
Jeffrey, tell me about Jeffrey.
I can't talk on his behalf, but he's out there saying there are existential threats.
Who is he?
He was a very prominent figure at the scene of AI, a very senior level, AI scientist in Google. And recently he left because he said, I feel that there is an existential threat. And if you hear his interviews, he basically says, more and more we realize that. And we're now at the point where it's certain that there will be existential threats, right? So I would ask everyone, if you're an AI, if you're a skilled AI developer, you will not run out of a job. So you might as well choose a job that makes the world a better place.
What about the individual?
Yeah, the individual is what matters. Can I also talk about government? Okay, government needs to act now. Now, honestly, now, like we are late. Okay, government needs to find a clever way. The open letter would not work. To stop AI would not work. AI needs to become expensive. Okay, so that we continue to develop it, we pour money on it and we grow it, but we collect enough revenue to remedy the impact of AI.
Well, but the issue of one government making it expensive, so say the UK make AI really expensive, is we as a country will then lose the economic upside as a country, and the US and Silicon Valley will once again eat all the lunch. We'll just slow our country down.
What's the alternative? The alternative is that you don't have the funds that you need to deal with AI as it becomes, as it affects people's lives and people start to lose jobs and people, you need to have a universal basic income much closer than people think. Just like we had with furlough in COVID, I expect that there will be furlough with AI within the next year.
But what happens when you make it expensive here is all the developers move to where it's cheap. That's happened in Web3 as well. Everyone's gone to Dubai.
No, expensive. By expensive, I mean when companies make soap and they sell it and they're taxed at, say, 17%. If they make AI and they sell it, they're taxed at 70, 80.
So
right?
I'll go to Dubai then and build AI.
Yeah, you're right. Did I ever say we have an answer to this? I will have to say, however, in a very interesting way, the countries that will not do this will eventually end up in a place where they are out of resources because the funds and the success went to the business, not to the people.
It's kind of like technology broadly. It's kind of like what's kind of happened in Silicon Valley. There'll be these centers which are like low, tax efficient. Founders get good capital gains,
You're
rates.
so right. You're so right.
Portugal have said that I think there's no tax on crypto. Dubai said there's no tax on crypto. So loads of my friends have got on a plane
Yeah.
and are building their crypto companies where there's no tax. And that's the selfishness and kind of greed we talked about.
It's the same prisoner's dilemma. It's the same first inevitable.
Is there anything else? You know, the other thing about governments is they're always slow and useless at understanding a technology. If anyone's watched these sort of American Congress debates where they bring in like Mark Zuckerberg and they like try and ask him what WhatsApp is, it becomes a meme.
Yeah.
They have no idea what they're talking about. They did it the other day.
But I'm stupid and useless at understanding governance.
Yeah, 100%.
The world is so complex, okay, that they definitely, it's a question of trust once again. Someone needs to say, we have no idea what's happening here. A technologist needs to come and make a decision for us, not teach us to be technologists, right? Or at least inform us of what possible decisions are out there.
The legislation, I just always think...
I'm not a
Did
big
you see
fan
that
either.
TikTok Congress meeting they did where they're asking him about TikTok and they really don't have a grasp of what TikTok is.
Yeah.
So they've clearly been handed some notes on it. These people aren't the ones you want legislating because, again, unintended consequences, they might make a significant mistake. Someone on my podcast yesterday was talking about how GDPR was like very well intentioned, but when you think about the impact it has on like every bloody web page, you're just like clicking this annoying thing on there because I don't think they fully understood the implementation of the legislation.
Correct. But you know what's even worse? What's even worse is that even as you attempt to regulate something like AI, what is defined as AI? Okay,
Yeah.
so even if I say, okay, if you use AI in your company, you need to pay a little more tax.
I'll find a way. You know.
Yeah, you'll simply call this not AI. You know, you'll use something and call it advanced technological, progress. You know, ATP, right? And suddenly somehow it's not, a young developer in their garage somewhere will not be taxed as such. It's